I quit YouTube after working incredibly hard to get myself monetized, and right after I got monetized, I decided to quit YouTube. Here's why. Just a bit of context, just in case anyone is watching me for the first time. I started making YouTube videos around 2020 as a way to track my Spanish learning progress. I was learning Spanish at the time, and I tried a bit of personal finance because during the lockdown, people were struggling a lot with their finances and stuff, and I had a bit of experience with managing money. So I decided to just share with people some helpful tips that I knew, and I've learned over time, and people really gravitated towards that. So I sort of went into the personal finance space, and it's something that I really enjoy, and that's always been sort of the goal of this channel, to just just empower people and just share anything that I've learned or I know that I believe will help people in their lives, really. Even though it was very challenging, because there was a lot of things um, happening in my life as well, and at the time, some of the challenges I faced making YouTube videos were the fact that, I was working, shift work and always working additional hours. I'm a family man with, family man responsibilities, and, it's just difficult trying to find time to record around family, because also I also had a very small space, which I'm still in, very tiny space, and I had to sort of record outside of hours. So maybe when the family's sleeping, when they're not in the house, sometimes I have to, if the weather's nice, I might go outside to record instead. It was always challenging just to find the time and the space to record, but I just found, yeah, I just found like I have a lot of, I enjoy making YouTube videos, and whether people are watching or not. During the time when I was making personal finance videos, compared to other creators, I was growing quite at a slow pace, but it didn't matter to me. It was just the comments and the feedback I got from people. Sometimes when I'm out, I might see some people that I know that have been watching my videos, and they'll give me lots of positive feedback about how my video helped them to do this and save this amount of money. And that alone is all you need, really. So it's never really about how much money I can make on YouTube or wherever. Just those type of comments was alone, to keep me going. I think it took me about 2 years before I got monetized, and I just kept on going. It didn't really bother me too much whether I was making money or not. Of course, as a creator as well, you do want to see yourself grow and that sort of thing. You want to get monetized or whatever, but it didn't matter how long it took. I just kept on going because I found genuine passion in making YouTube videos. And some of the other challenges I face as well is, making YouTube videos take a long time to make videos. You have to, I'm the type of person where, I like to script my videos. I like it to be, written. So sometimes I'll spend like, you spend time obviously writing the script and then recording the video because it's scripted and you're trying to read your script. It probably take you about 2 to 3 hours, for me anyway, to record that kind of video. And then after spending 2 to 3 hours, you have to sort of try and cut that video down into about 10 minutes. So 3 hours into 10 minutes, it takes a bit of doing. And then after that, you have to also create the thumbnails and all of that stuff. And you have to keep doing this week in, week out, so it takes a bit of time, but I really enjoyed doing it. It was just sort of like my escape a little bit. So making YouTube videos does take a lot of time, and to stay consistent for the amount of time I did with everything that I had going on, it took a bit of doing, and you have to have some sort of passion, to be able to keep going with all the things I had going on. So what actually happened and why I left YouTube? So I think I have to go back to around 2020. I think that was the turning point for me, where I had surgery. I don't know if you guys remember, and that was one of the most difficult periods in my life, because that surgery took me out for about 6 months. I couldn't work for about 6 months, and when you can't work and you're at home all the time, because if you notice, I'm someone that likes to keep busy. I'm working, doing additional hours, doing YouTube videos, got side hustles going. I'm someone that likes to keep busy, so not being able to do much for 6 months in crutches was quite a difficult period for me. But at the same time, during that period, it gives you time to sort of slow down a little bit, because when you keep going in the rat race for so long, every day you're working, you're moving, you don't really get time to think. You understand? You don't really get a lot of time to yourself to really think about yourself and your future because you're always constantly going. You don't get time to reflect. So during that time, you know, I obviously took advantage of that time to sort of reflect myself as well. And that's why even during the lockdown, if you notice, a lot of people changed jobs because, they actually had time to, a lot of time, in fact, to reflect on their lives. A lot of relationships, broke up because, people sat down and realized, wow, like, we've been going and going or whatever, but now we're actually spending time with each other. Maybe we're not compatible with each other, So when you get time to reflect, things start to happen. So yeah, so I had a lot of time to myself to just think about my future and my career, and I realized that I'm not truly happy in my career and where things are going because I've been in the same job now for about 5 years, and initially when I started the job, I wanted to do the job for about 2 to 3 years and then reevaluate and see what my next steps would be. But obviously, yeah, once I joined the company that I was working at the time, you know, obviously things started to change in my career. I got married, had kids, and then, that sort of, I had to sort of take my time with things a little bit. And before I knew it, it was 5 years. I don't know how that happened. So, yeah, I just found myself that, I was stagnant a little bit in my career. I wasn't really growing. And, I was thinking about all of that stuff when I was at home for that 6 months. And the worst part was I didn't know what I wanted to do next in my career. But what I did know is I wanted to do something more meaningful, something more challenging, somewhere I can grow more because I also felt like in my career at the time I wasn't really growing. I was just doing the same repetitive things every single day, and so yeah, I kind of felt like I've had enough of that. I wanted to try something different because for one, I have, a degree in business management. I got a 2-1 in business management, and I felt like I wasn't using that degree at all in what I was doing. Is at all, like So I felt like I sort of wasted my student loan a little bit. Every up to now, I'm still paying student loan, and I'm not using the degree. That's one. And another thing is I just know that I'm capable of so much more than what I was doing at the time, and I know that for myself, and people also remind me all the time, like, bro, like, like, what's your next move? What are you going to be doing? Like, you can do, people used to tell me, some people, I respect the ones that are able to, tell me blatantly, like, bro, like, you can do more than what you're doing type of thing, so yeah, that was, one of the things I knew within myself I can definitely do more than, I was doing. Yeah, also, sorry if I keep looking this side, that's because I got my notes here that I'm trying to, follow along so that I don't forget anything important. Another challenge with the surgery is that physically things became very challenging for me, because I hadn't been walking for properly for a good 6 months, and I lost a lot of weight in my legs, and my legs were not big already, and now I even lost more weight in my legs and stuff, and my balance was a bit all over the place, and the job that I was doing at the time was, it was a bit physical. It involves a lot of walking, it's field-based work, so yeah, it was going to be difficult for me, and I also had, a lot of other challenges going on in my life, even in my flat, things kept on breaking, my car kept on breaking, lots of personal challenges. I remember my wife was also pregnant at that time as well with, my second child now who's here. Yeah, so I had so much going on in my life at the time, but even despite everything that was going on, I was still trying to make those YouTube videos because the YouTube videos, like I said, is sort of my escape. I enjoy making them, like just scripting a video and, recording it, editing, and having that final piece after and just sharing it with everyone. I enjoy doing it. I don't know, it always brings a smile to my face, to see what I can create and always learning and trying, new things. And it just became more challenging to make those videos. And then obviously with the new child coming and everything, we have to make space for the child, and I had to sort of give up the space that I was using to record the YouTube video. So it became even harder to make YouTube videos. So I just found myself, making videos at the park and, it was just difficult, like, to make those videos happen. And I'm a strong character, despite, you know, the fact that I kept on going and going during that period. It just reached a point where I just felt like I can't go anymore. Like, I actually, you know, need a break. I need a break. I need to just think about my next move in life and just stop for a little bit. So I let go of a lot of things that were keeping me busy. I had to um, sacrifice a lot of things, you know. Things like going out, for example. I wasn't really going out much already anyway, but I cut that down to like very, very important things only. And even things like my family as well. And I'm talking about my family as a whole, my extended family. I had to sort of sacrifice a little bit there as well, because, you know, I always like to be there for my family. And I just felt like sometimes they take it a bit for granted, you know, because they'll call me about something and, you know, I'll be there and, you know, instantly and that sort of thing. But it got to the point where I felt like, you know what, I need to save myself first here, you know. So I had to, um, yeah, just turn down certain things for a little bit just so I can focus on myself. Because if I don't focus on myself and I'm not in the right place and the right frame of mind, then I can't help them either. So I had to, yeah, sacrifice a little bit there as well. Just so many things, even at church as well, you know. I had to, yes, look. I just had to look after myself, you know, because I just felt like I was not in a very good space mentally and physically as well. And I felt like I had to get myself in the right frame of mind again before I can help everybody again. So with everything I had going on, you know, I just felt burnt out at one point, like, and that's when I really experienced burnout. Like, burnout is crazy. Like, you just feel like you don't want to do anything and everything just takes longer to do. I was just burnt out, you know, and it was clear that I definitely needed a break. Getting to the time where I had to return back to work after being off for like I think almost 6 months, it was difficult. But then I sat down and I realized, you know what, I don't want to go back to what I was doing before, because, you know, firstly, like I said, I'm not growing. Physically, it's going to be difficult for me because my job involves a lot of walking. Um, but the problem was, obviously, I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I just knew that I had to try something different. So I needed a new challenge imminently. So a few weeks before I went back, I told myself, you know what, I needed a change now, you know. And this time around, I'm not going to do it like how I've always done in the past, where, you know, if I wanted to change, I'll just look for a job that pays me slightly more than what I was doing before and just change. This time around, I can't do that because, you know, I have family, I have a wife and kids and all these things. So I need to make sure that, you know, every decision that I make involves them as well. You have to think about, you know, the kids' school, work-life balance, and, you know, just so many things. So I can't just change jobs. I need to get a job that, you know, where I can grow in and where it will, you know, accommodate, you know, my family life and everything as well. So that made it a bit more difficult. So I thought, you know, this time around, I'm going to actually do some proper research for the first time about what kind of direction I want to go into. So not just the job I want to do, but also like a job that will offer me the opportunity to grow and, you know, I'll have like a proper lane for the first time, because I feel like all the jobs I've done before, I haven't really had a proper career path, you know. So I needed that sort of lane, because at the age I am now, I can't be just bouncing and changing industries like that. I need to just find one and try and grow within that industry. So I took my time and did a bit of research about, you know, where I wanted to go career-wise. And I also wanted an industry that was actually growing, because I also felt like the industry that I was working in at the time, or that side where I was working in that industry, was sort of dying a little bit. So I wanted one where there was actually potential for growth, you know. And it became very clear that, you know, tech was like the new thing, you know, that's what's growing and booming at the moment. So I wanted to get on that side, you know. So I decided to get into tech, and initially it was very difficult because I did a bit of IT back in A levels and I did poorly. I got like a U. So I'm thinking, if I really, if I got a U in IT, what makes me think I'm gonna do well, you know, with this tech industry? But you know what? I thought to myself, you know, I'm much older now, I'm much wiser. I'm more level-headed now. So let me give it another try. Let me give myself like a month to sort of dip my toes in it a little bit to see if it's something that I can actually do. And you know what? I actually surprised myself. You know, I did quite well. I was picking up things very quickly, enjoying like solving the problems. It was very fulfilling. So I thought to myself, you know what? I can do this. So I just continued from there, started learning the coding, and I was doing really well with the coding, and I did it for about 6 months, and then I got a little bit stuck and I wanted a bit of structure. So I found this free boot camp that they do in the UK where, yeah, you can sign up and then you can learn to code and all of that stuff for free to get your job ready. So I thought, why not? So I applied for one of the boot camps, and at the time I wanted to get into web development. I felt like that's the one that, resonated with me at the time. But then when I applied for the boot camp, I didn't get a space in the web development cohort. There was no web development cohort, in fact, that time. So they suggested that maybe I should try data science. So I figured data science, that's completely different from web development, especially after spending a good 6 months learning all the code with that. But I thought, it's free, so I might as well try anyway. So I done it, and I actually really enjoyed it. It's I feel like God put that in my path, because I felt like not only did I enjoy it, but it really aligned with the degree that I had in business as well. It really went hand in hand, and I really enjoyed it. So I did really well in that boot camp, but then it was very intense. We were using Python programming language at the time, and yeah, it was very intense. And yeah, I didn't feel like I was ready to transition into data science yet. I just felt like it was really intense. So I thought, let me try data analytics a little bit, they have a lot of similar things, but it's less code intensive. So I tried data analytics a little bit, took a few more courses. Yeah, so after taking those courses and the boot camp and everything, I started applying for jobs, and it was one of the most difficult periods because I received tons of rejections. Oh my goodness, I've never received so many rejections in my life. I think if it was the old me, I would have given up a long time ago, but I just kept on going. I think it took me about, spoiler alert, it took me about 200 job applications before I landed I landed that one opportunity, because yeah, in the tech industry, it's getting your foot in the door is probably the hardest. Everyone wants someone with all this experience in the world, but no one is willing to give them that experience. So yeah, it was tough, but I just kept on going, and God willing, I'll do a proper video about this, but I felt like God really came through for me with this opportunity that I landed. Yeah, and I got an opportunity, and I've been working in this new company for about a couple of months now, you know, and it's been very challenging. One of the most challenging jobs I've ever done in my life, and every day is a challenge. There's this, I get that what you call it, imposter syndrome. Oh my goodness, imposter syndrome is real, because firstly, I haven't really worked in corporate properly. I haven't worked in corporate, to be honest, in my entire life. I did when I worked in a bank. That was retail banking, so it wasn't really corporate, But yeah, just navigating yourself through that corporate life and all of that stuff alone. That's one challenge on its own. But then actually doing the job as well, it's a lot. Like now I'm in an environment where I answer to like a lot of big people, and they give you work and give you tight deadlines, and they don't care how you do it, just get it done, whether you know it or not. You just have to find a way. So yeah, every day I'm just scratching my head. I'm like doing all these crazy things to meet these deadlines and to get things done. And that's just how it works in that world. So it's very challenging. So but yeah, once I landed the new job, I kind of felt a bit more relaxed now, and I wanted to get straight back on YouTube. But I thought, what, let me give it a bit more time and just stabilize myself and get more comfortable in the new position before I start making YouTube videos again. But I just realized that there's never gonna be a good time to ever get back on YouTube, because this job gets harder and harder each day that goes along. I'm trusted with bigger and bigger responsibilities each time, so there's never going to be a better time. And of course, sometimes I get a little bit scared and a little bit worried that what if this happens and what if that happens. But you know what, it is what it is. Whatever happens, I know God has his hand in it. God works in mysterious ways. So yeah, I just kind of put that fear aside, and I just want to get on with my life and just do the things that I enjoy. I'm not going to let this joy, the fear and imposter syndrome in this job just take me away from the things that I truly enjoy. So whatever happens, happens. I'm gonna get back to making YouTube videos as long as you guys are happy to have me back. But yeah, the content is gonna be slightly different. I don't think I'll be making too much personal finance videos anymore. I kind of grew out of love with the personal finance stuff a little bit, and the personal finance space, if you studied it, became a little bit messy, after the lockdown, and don't really want to be too much part of that, So, but now, there's I've noticed there's a lot of genuine interest as well. People have been calling me and asking me about getting into tech and getting into data analytics and that sort of thing. And usually I'll spend lots of time with them on the phone, trying to help them also, get their foot in the door and that sort of thing. But I just feel like there's genuine interest there, and I'm going to be making videos on that, career changes, business and that sort of thing. So I'm going to switch up the content a little bit, and I'm just looking forward to making the videos again. In terms of consistency, I'm not sure if I'll be uploading once a week like I was doing before. Maybe once every 2 weeks, whenever I can. I'll just try not to stop completely. So guys, that's it. I'm back to making YouTube videos again. In terms of how I record the videos, to save me time, I'm gonna record it slightly different. I'm not gonna be as scripted as I was before. I'll just free flow a little bit more, and I kind of enjoy that. Just sit down, have a few bullet points here and there, and just flow. I kind of prefer that, even though sometimes you tend to waffle a little bit. But I think that's the kind of approach I'm gonna take now, because it'll save me so much time, and I can just get the videos done a lot quickly, and I wouldn't have to edit it so much. So guys, that's it. I'm back to be making those YouTube videos again. You can tell from the smile on my face, I'm just happy to be recording again. And just a quick update that I forgot to mention as well, actually. So during the break I took from YouTube, I actually took some time to learn more about YouTube. So I started a second channel where I sort of just playing with things a little bit. So I recorded quite a few videos, and I'm going to be moving that over here as well. And another thing as well is, obviously, because I wasn't recording for so long, I got demonetized by YouTube, so I'm not monetized anymore. So again, I'm going to need your help. The same old things, just make sure you like and you subscribe. And if you're watching the video, I know sometimes I might waffle or whatever, but just try and watch the video as much of the video as possible, because that's what really counts, is the watch hours, not the just clicking on it and just viewing the video for a few seconds and then clicking off. That does not help me at all. So if you're going to watch the video, make sure you watch like a good portion of the video. That's what YouTube really counts, and that's how they recommend my video to more people, and that's what will help me to get re-monetized. Okay, so I need your help once again. So make sure you like, subscribe. I miss saying that. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video with anyone who you think might find any value in the video. But I'm back, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.